Alright boys, with the new R6 season already being out and me not having a life, already being top 200 champ, who better is there to give you some tips to help you climb the ranks of the game? I will say, this is all going to be useful and important stuff that can benefit your gameplay if you take the time to learn. On another note, your boy's trying hard to stay consistent. I'm putting a lot of effort in for you guys. If it's your first time watching, please drop a sub. It would help out a lot, and peace. Tip number 1 is going to be properly understanding perspective. I'd say this is one of the most important things that even higher elo players don't really understand. I'm going to show you two different POVs, mine and the guy who's peeking me. Just watch it how insane this is. Watch it how far he walks up before I can see him. Now look at his perspective. He can quite literally see me the whole time. So how do we change this? Well, we don't sit so close to angels and we back up further, like this. As you'll be able to see here is we'll literally only be able to see a very little pixel of him. But if we switch to his perspective, he'll only be able to see a pixel of us. So pretty much whoever's further from an angel in a gunfight has a perspective's advantage, meaning if you're further from an angel rather than being closer, you'll see the other person first. Tip number 2 is also very important. It's crosshair placement. Now I know a lot of people have this huge misconception that you should aim for the body because it's easier, like this guy said in a previous video of mine. Now first off, never do this. You should always be aiming head level in Siege. Siege being a one headshot game, crosshair placement is key. If this is something you struggle with, I highly recommend taking the time to understanding where to aim, and proper map knowledge where you know what to clear. Something to keep in mind is to think of what angles you are going to clear before you clear them. For example, here while I'm alibi, I clear everything one by one. Cool vibes, then DJ booth, then 90. Another thing that a bunch of older players used to do is they would barricade a doorway and aim at this buckle. This buckle is always head level, and it's the easiest thing to remember because you can literally do it while you're in a ranked game. Just barricade a doorway, aim there for about 2 or 3 seconds and keep it in mind, and you should be good to go. In your next ranked game, try this and comment down below if it helped you out. Tip number 3 is also going to be very important. It is properly warming up before you hop into a ranked game. Now what do I mean by properly warming up? First off, I'm going to give you a little bit of a different perspective. Think in ranked, let's just say on average your ranked games take 30 minutes to play out. Some of those games you may only get 5 kills, meaning you only take 5 gunfights, or you know, however it plays out. In a game mode like arcade, you can take up to literally 30 to 50 gunfights in the span of 5 minutes, warming you up a lot quicker. I'm also going to go ahead and give you my shooting range routine that I do literally every time before I play ranked. I practice my tracking for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then I do the same thing with my flicking and recoil control on the hard to control gun. And after I do this, I'll hop straight into an arcade and play one arcade game. Then if my aim feels warm enough, I'll just hop into ranked with my homies. Tip number 4 is mindset. Having a good mindset is key to ranking up in the game. I'm going to go on a small rant here. There is something called an enabler. An enabler is basically someone who enables his teammates with a good mindset and mentality. If you are a positive voice on your team rather than complaining and crying after every single round, more than likely you guys will win more games. Also, don't overanalyze yourself. You don't need to change your sensitivity every time you whiff or assume your chair isn't in the right position. Keep in mind that Siege is a game where one mistake can cause a death. So overall, learn from your mistakes, but don't beat yourself up in the process. And don't shit on your teammates every time they make a mistake. And trust me, I know that's hard because there are some bums that play the game. And after the round is over, give them some constructive criticism that they can improve on. Tip number 5 is going to be understanding the meta. Right now we're in something called the shield meta. Basically the meta changes to whatever new tech drops or whatever is overpowered in the game. The higher in elo you climb, the more you will see the meta change to more broken and cheeky strat. In lower elo it's more brain dead, but the higher you climb the more coordinated the game is. This is a good and bad thing. For me personally, when I play in lower elo with friends, I find it a lot harder because those players are way less unpredictable. But when you're in higher elo, you already know what to expect. So keep this in mind. The higher you climb, in a way the game will become more coordinated, which makes it somewhat more easy. After you get up to around Emerald, you will start learning and seeing things that you haven't really seen before. This is where understanding and learning the meta is important, because when you are climbing the ranks, you're going to be constantly seeing new things. You should take all of this information into your head and find ways to implement it into your own gameplay. Once you have that figured out and everything in higher elo becomes predictable, you are finally at the rank you belong. This is the difference between an Emerald player and a champion player. The champ player always knows what to expect, while the lower elo player will be way more clueless to what's going on. So downloading information overall in your head and understanding the meta is very important.
Now I see you, yeah, you know I do, to make it through the times we had. I see it now, I see it now.